Okay, so we've heard quite a lot today about what is autism, what are some of the issues at hand. We've also heard about serious games and applying serious games to health. We've also heard about our game and our e-learning course, and even the situation in other European countries. So now it's kind of the important bit of how you can use, if I press the right button, how you can use the iSpectrum game and e-learning course. So essentially, we've got the game itself. Now, you've seen the game. Now, the game is obviously intended for people on the autism spectrum, but when we originally wrote the application, it was written as autism, Asperger's, and other related conditions. I think was the way it was written. Since then, the language keeps changing. As John pointed out, it's ASD, then ASC, then we're just going to say autism, but the general thing of what we're going to call autism, I think, in general. But I think actually the game does stretch beyond that. It's a good game for anybody, really, that's looking to get into work, that may have a difficulty getting past the interview stage, and practicing general job skills. If you notice, Lucia pointed out there was like an email task there. Now, that email task is valid for anybody starting a job. If you've never had a job, you never tried to go and send email when you've been demanded to do something by your boss, then it's quite a good task. We also have tasks where you can be placing items on a shelf or picking and packing things. We have answering telephones and taking the right information down. All these basic skills, but actually only basic skills if you've done them and you've been in work for a while. When you're there on your first day, they're actually quite challenging things to do, especially if you've got to try and do all of them at the same time as well and stick to times. So I think the iSpectrum game actually is opened up for far more than we originally intended it to be. But we're hoping that people on the autism spectrum will actually use this themselves, hopefully with some autism practitioners guiding them and providing feedback. We're hoping some autism centres take it on to use them. I'm hopefully going to meet up with Autism West Midlands and with the National Autistic Society in the UK. We've also got similar conversations going in other European countries. So hopefully this will actually start to be used by quite a cross-section of people. The game is available now, so we actually have it on some of the computers at the back if you'd like to have a quick go at it. Also on the iSpectrum website, simply click on the game and access the game or use the game, and you can just register on there very easily. It's free of charge for the life of the project, and we'll keep it online for a period after that. We're trying to create a sustainability plan so that this thing keeps going for as long as possible, but it'll certainly be free of charge for some considerable time from now. So the game is only one part of the project. Another important part is the training that we provided in the manual. So we've conducted training in several European countries, and we do some more training again in Bulgaria. And the training consists, as I say, of a little bit of what you've seen today, but in a more practical sense, in sort of showing some serious games, applying serious games, and then using our game. And so there's a manual produced, which you can download the manual from our website as of next week. You'll be able to download that, and perhaps even use that with your team if you want to try and introduce the game into your own team. We also have the e-learning course and the learning network. As I mentioned, the learning network is essentially, if you use any sort of social network, Facebook or LinkedIn or anything else like that, they operate in a very similar way. You have friends on there. You can post information to everybody via a blog within your group. You can post pictures, video, and generally interact through a forum system. Also, when you're actually carrying out the learning course, we encourage people to go into there to discuss what they're doing in the course and to try and get help and information from other people that are taking the course. The course itself, as Karen mentioned, you can pretty much start and finish however long you need to take on it. So the Learning Network would be a good place to go into any time of day or night to actually interact with other people in there. So the more people in there, the better. If you want to bring in anything else beyond the game and the course and discuss anything else around autism, employability and serious games, then you're more than welcome. We'll also be in that Learning Network ourselves, interacting, so you should be able to see all of the project partners and the team at e-learning studios in there as well. The e-learning course, as Karen said, that'll be available very soon. That is intended for autism practitioners and educationalists in general. So the idea is, as I say, that's going to be about sort of what are serious games, how can you use our serious game, and how can you actually go off and create some of your own serious games, or at least apply some of the ideas of games and attach them to some of your work. As well as that, we have some other outputs. We've also got the website that we've created. The website has some news and events on it. It has some information about the projects. It's got our old newsletters on there. We produce a newsletter every quarter, and I think that we're going to add all of your addresses to the newsletter. If you don't want us to, let us know. It's once a quarter, and there'll literally be, I think, 2 left in the project. Maybe we'll do a final one, maybe at the end of the year. But that should hopefully sort of give an overview of what's happening in the project. We've created a series of reports and some background research. Obviously, to put a project together like this required a lot of research and using a lot of secondary research. Some of that was coordinated by Evelyn Schlenk and her team in Germany, and also by Alex Warner at Coventry University, and all the other partners feeding into that research and background. From that, a couple of reports have been created, about 3 reports actually. One's focusing around digital technologies and the sort of platforms to use instead of using games, could be Second Life, and looking at other platforms and the suitability of ours. And one looks more at sort of the appropriateness of what's in a script and what you should be putting into scripts if you're developing a game for people with autism. We're also producing some case studies at the moment. And the reason why I put that on there is that's actually something we're actually only beginning on now. So if you're using the game yourself, or if you're working with somebody who's using the game, and if you find it useful and successful, or you'd like to help us out, it'd be great if we could produce a short case study. It might literally be just a few words and maybe a quick photo if you're okay with that. And we're going to add those to the website. It's a bit of a showcase of people actually using it. So we want to know what people think of it and how they're actually applying it themselves. So that could be if you're a teacher in a college. It could be if you're an autism practitioner placing people into work. It could be if you're an autistic person yourself and you find it useful and would like to give some feedback. We've had a couple of people say they'd like to do it so far, but if more of you can do it, that'd be wonderful. We also have some videos, which we were going to show them, but unfortunately we couldn't show them at the time. But we'll have those via the website as well, and they're on our YouTube channel. They show some of the testing we've done in Bulgaria, some of the feedback from that, and also some videos on some of the other training sessions as well. So that's essentially the iSpectrum project. I should have skipped that for a second. What else could you do if you don't want to do any of that? That's right, tell the world. Skipped a bit forward there, but never mind. Okay, this is just a very, very small splattering of the media we've had. It happens to be an article for Autism Europe, that went over the whole of Europe in English and French. We have an article from Bulgaria. We have an article from Germany, from the National Autism Society in Germany. We have an article from Italy here, and even one from Denmark, which isn't actually one of the partner countries, but we met somebody from Denmark who quite liked it, who is the assistant head of Autism Denmark. She really liked the game, so she wanted to write an article on it. As well as this, there's an Autism West Midlands article which I wrote recently, and there's a plethora of other articles and information out there. But we need more because, as you guys all know, the autism world is huge. You're only going to look at the back of the Autism West Midlands magazine to look at these support groups in the West Midlands, and there's an entire page full of it. If you imagine that's exactly the same across the whole of the country and probably across most of Europe, then there's a lot of people out there. So if you could help tell the world about this, that would really help us out. And direct them all to the website, which is www.ispectrum.eu. On there you can register for the game, you can register for the e-learning course, you can drop us a note, you can download some reports, and hopefully keep up to date on the project.